Hello, people. So, I want to talk to you about a couple things. This might be a little bit difficult, a little bit tough, but just have to. Um, I had someone get a hold of me this morning, and good guy, and we started having a serious conversation. I went to bed last night. I got up this morning, and I put myself in destruction mode. I was gonna just go crazy and do a lot of shit, you know, stupid shit, go after people and all this stuff. Basically, hurt people because I was angry. I was angry that I was being attacked and being accused of things that aren't true. But some of the things that are being said are true. So I'll deal with that. But unfortunately, I got to deal with things that are more serious than that. I am a 60-year-old man. I am the father of three wonderful kids, three grandchildren, and also a couple dogs. Coming off a long-term relationship, and life has been really strange since I joined this mob uh, crap, where it's weird, very, very brutal. Actually, the attacking from all sides, including me, is a bunch of insanity. And then you just do things that as a human being you wouldn't usually do. And, you know, when you get to that point, you have to decide what it is you want to do as a human being. Do you want to stay bad as a human being? Do you want to stay in the insanity and keep attacking and attacking? And these last 2 years have been very tough for my family. Let me just. This is my brother Danny. Danny died 2 years ago. This is my sister Alice. She died a year ago, about a year and a half. And a lot of people know who Tom is. There's a lot of media stuff that came out on it. Tom committed suicide on February 12th. I was talking to him for about 2 hours. And he got off the phone and he hung himself. About 15 minutes later. It was a really good call. I had no idea. And all this stuff happening has made me a person that I really am not. I have to decide whether this is even healthy for me. This person that got a hold of me this morning, I thank God for, because I was just going to be so fucking ugly today. Revenge, get back at the people talking shit. And this person's been through a lot too. And, we get older real quick. And when we get older, all those things that, I came from a family of 11 people, 11 kids, 7 sisters and 4 brothers. And you go years in your family, you have no tragedy. then tragedy, just hits. You know, three of my siblings, the youngest ones, die. And I choose the mafia genre as therapy. Fucking unbelievable. This is the wrong genre to use as therapy. And this person I talked to today made a lot of sense. It's just not worth doing this, you know. It's not worth the fighting. It's not worth the accusations, you know. It's just not worth it. There's nothing worth this. You know, when I originally got on here, it was to deal with the rats. Basically, Sammy Gavano. And it's become so much more than that. I've taken it in directions that are crazy. I shouldn't have ever done it. And, you know, it just makes no sense no more. So I have to make a choice whether I keep on doing this the right way or I stop doing it. There's no in between. Because this is not normal. This is not normal for us to be running around ripping each other apart. Everybody should just do their own show and concentrate on the stuff that we're here for. And unfortunately, I definitely not have been doing that. You know, I haven't even dealt with these family members' deaths. And you know, my brother Tom was everything to me. We were very close. We talked every day on the phone for about 30 years. So I've replaced his phone calls with this fucking insanity. You know, and not worth it. I have to decide, you know, today I'm meeting with somebody that has to do with my brother and his life story. And this person's doing a book from Simon Schuster. These are things I should be concentrating on, not this. And when I do concentrate on this, I should do legitimate stories. This fighting and stuff, and it's not worth it. You know, sometimes you got to use something that's negative as a positive. This is one of those moments. You know. So I just decided to be as honest as I could today about this. And talk about my brothers and sisters. You know, we have 11 brothers and sisters, and all of us are going through a lot. You know, I grew up a very poor kid. And my brothers and sisters, all we had was each other. You know, we came from a family where my father was always working and my mother was an alcoholic. And as kids, all we had was each other. And as we got older and moved on in life, we separated. And some of us stayed closer to each other than the others. And I stayed very close to Tom. And then Tom and I were involved in a lot of stuff together, you know, and Then, I got stupid and started doing some stupid shit, and Tom matured. He became a husband, a great father to three beautiful girls. And he had his demons inside of him, though, because of what happened to him when he was a boy. You know, he worked as a kid with the WWE, and they had some bad people there. And these are the things I should be concentrating on, not this. And I could truly, honestly say it's not about the money, any of this, doing any of this. It's not. I'm a lucky man. Sometimes people don't realize how lucky they are. I have three wonderful, healthy children, all doing very successful in life. Out of all this shit I've done in my life, the most successful thing I've ever done is raise my children, and they've had good lives, and they've done opposite of what I've done. When I was getting in trouble most of my life, I spent a majority of my life running from the law, hiding, and I literally spent 10 years on the run hiding from the law. It was the worst 10 years of my life. And despite doing this, despite being out of my son's life for a while, my oldest son's life for a while, we developed a good relationship over time. And all three of my children were in the military, and one is active still. And despite me being a mediocre father at best, they turned out to be three wonderful kids. But I remember when I got that call 2.5 years ago, my brother Danny died. Danny was in his 40s. And he had a lot of issues. He had a lot of bad things happen to him when he was growing up. And he died of a drug overdose. My sister Alice, she got her life together. She went back to her husband. And she died of a drug overdose. And both of them, no one seen it coming. They just made that wrong decision in one night. And they died. And those two were like my brother Tom's protector. And he loved them dearly. And with all the things going on in his life, on top of that, he got a brain tumor. And we were wondering what was happening to him, why he was acting the way he was. And as many of you know, on February 12th, he hung himself. And everybody was mad because they were like, why would he hang himself? His three daughters found him. I spoke to the policeman. That was the first person on the scene. And he said it was one of them. He actually was a detective, and he was a homicide detective. And he just happened to go to the scene, and he said that it was as horrible as any homicide because the three girls were on the front lawn crying. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do this much longer. But I just have to get this out. speak to somebody. I feel kind of embarrassed even putting this out. That's why I did it. I just ain't live. That's why I'm doing this like this. Now I have to decide whether I'm going to put it out. That's pretty much it, people. If I've offended anybody, or hurt anybody, I'm sorry. I don't like being this way, and it's not going to be anymore. It's done. I'm just going to probably just do shows, and that's it. No more of this back and forth. People, thank you. I appreciate everything. I appreciate the fact that you've even made my show this popular. And you know what? If it wasn't for my stupidity, it'd probably be a lot more popular. You can't go in and out and be fighting and be in one way one week and one way and next week. You got to be who you are. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be who I am. I haven't talked about my brothers and sisters in a long time, since they died. But since Tom died, I really talked a little about it. Kind of feels good to talk about it. Okay, people, take care.